Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch today. I have a new microphone right here. I know that a lot of you have kind of voiced your complaints about the audio quality on this channel, and you've rightfully so. I've had a hard time with it. Over the past year, this is going to be about the fourth microphone I've purchased, and some of them weren't cheap. And I've just had a hard time finding one good enough to work, have decent sound quality, and not give all this static and poppy noise. So let me know what you think of the microphone. I did a lot of research. They say it's a really good one, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed, hope and pray that it works for us, because I'm tired of going through microphones. Before I get started, I know you hate the long intros, but I want to mention again this YouTube channel that you all really need to go check out and subscribe to. It's a friend of mine and my wife's. She has a small business she started where she colorizes old black and white photos and videos, and she's really good at it. She cleans the movies up, colorizes them. So she started a YouTube channel where she's taken these old classic movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s that, you know, the copyright's kind of gone on them. She colorizes them and posts them there to watch for free. So you can get on there and you can watch all these great classic movies that you can't even find anymore. You've probably never heard of a lot of them. And it's good, clean entertainment for you and your family. Winter's coming on, you're inside more. All the craziness that's going on in the world, you're probably not wanting to get out as much. Well, here's a way that you can entertain you and your family for no cost to you at all. I don't get anything out of it promoting it. They're just a good friend. So I'm going to leave a link to the channel below. The channel is called Old Time Movie and TV Shows. But go down in the description. You can click and take you right to it. Subscribe. And that way, when she posts new movies, you can be notified of them and watch them, because it's a pretty cool thing. We watched one last night. All right. Whew. I want to get into this election thing some more today. And stay with me, please. I know some of you may be tired of it, but we're going to be talking about some different takes on it. And here's the thing. The last couple of videos I've made, I've tried to lighten the mood a little bit. I've tried to bring a little hope and a little positivity, because with all the stuff that's going on in this world and all that we talk about on here, I could see it being very easy to hit this doom gloom stage where, you know, we lose all hope and the world's going to end and I'm not going to survive and it's just awful. So I want to try to steer away from that while still presenting to you what's going on, so that you can be prepared, and as well as ways to become prepared. So when I talk about there being hope, or try to put a little lightheartedness on it, I'm not mocking anything, and I'm not necessarily downplaying stuff. I want you to know that there's always still hope left in this world. So let's get into this. There's a lot of stuff that's just going on in the news right now because of this election. And one of the things that I've noticed that we need to kind of discuss is the fact that many states have activated their National Guard. They've put them on standby, told them to get ready to deploy. They are actively training. Some of them have been actively training for the last few weeks to get ready for this. And it's not just the National Guard. Multiple state police law enforcement agencies have done the same. They are bringing in reserves. Some places have even talked about bringing in recently retired officers, reactivating them. They've been training. They have told their departments that all vacations and time off is put on hold for the next few weeks or even few months. The Department of Homeland Security has done the same. It's happening everywhere. People, these agencies and departments are gearing up for this. Even yesterday, Texas, which is a conservative state run by a conservative governor, activated their National Guard to be deployed in the 5 largest cities of the state in response to the potential threat of civil disruption and violence due to the elections. So, when we say there's a chance that this election cycle could see a lot of violence and disruption, I think that that's a pretty good chance. You know, someone on the comments yesterday, I can't remember who it was, but I know it's one of my faithful listeners, said, I think that there's a 0% chance that there's not going to be any problems this election. And I think I'm going to agree with that. You know, go back to 2016. There was a lot of protests and even riots due to that election. And we've, you know, those people that would protest against the president's election, they've had 4 years to build up their hatred for him. You know, that Trump derangement syndrome has just infected their whole body. Not to mention with all the other stuff that's going on in 2020, I think that a lot of people would view that this election is a do or die kind of thing. And if Trump gets reelected, probably most of them feel they have nothing else left to lose. So they're going to go all in. There's been multiple threats. You know, if Biden gets elected, I don't think it's certainly not going to be any better in the long run. That's for sure. But I don't think it would even be much better in the short term. Biden and his running mate, Nancy Pelosi, I think it was the other day, several of them have said that they have planned a very aggressive first 100 days for his presidency. So once he takes office, it sounds like the things that they're planning to do are going to be pretty radical. So either way, no matter who gets elected, I think we need to be geared up over the next few days of what we might in fact see. I want to show some videos of things that's happened recently, and these videos were taken most of them were from last night, as of the making of this video, but they're all recent. And these are rioting and violent acts that's being done in American cities based on police shooting an armed assailant in what I felt by looking at the videos were a justified police shooting. So you might say, well, that's for one thing. We're talking about an election. It's going to be the same people that's going to be doing the rioting and stuff. And these people that you see in these videos, they're going to be there also. So it's a good judge. Now, we've seen lots of violence over the past 6 months or so. This summer, a lot of these Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots, we saw a lot of violence. People were killed, a lot of people were shot, a lot of buildings were burned, property was damaged, billions of dollars were lost because of it. And it's still happening. And over the last few days, it's increasing again. It kind of slowed down for a while, and we were only seeing it just sparsely across the United States, but it's happening again. So I'm going to speak while the videos are playing. That way it won't take as much time. So I'm going to go ahead and start rolling them. Here's the thing. Again, I know some of you are saying, yeah, but it's not going to happen here. I don't live in Philadelphia. I don't live in LA. That's the reason why I don't live there. I get it. The odds of it happening where you live may be much less, but it doesn't mean that it won't. It doesn't mean that it won't overflow into your area, especially if you live outside of a larger city. And even if you don't see any kind of violence in your area, it doesn't mean that the collateral damage due to this stuff is not going to affect you. One of the videos here is of a semi, delivery truck, big 18-wheeler being attacked, the truck itself, and they're looting the truck. And we saw a lot of this over the summer. And there's no reason not to believe it won't happen again. I mean, or even worse, a lot of these organizations, Black Lives Matter and Antifa and stuff, they actually do a lot of insurgency type training. In fact, there's evidence that Islamic terrorists have trained some of these groups. So they would get it that, we want to disrupt society, let's attack the trucking industry. If that happens, folks, I don't care where you live, you're going to be affected by it. Because if they start attacking a lot of these 18-wheelers, a lot of these truck drivers, just like they did back in the summer in certain cities, they're going to say, this job ain't worth that. I'm I'm not delivering, a truckload of toilet paper just to be drug out of the truck and being beat to death, right? There ain't a truck driver out on the road that isn't aware of that kind of stuff. That's what was going on back in the 90s, and they are fully aware of that. And I have no doubt that, because I have truck drivers in my family, I've talked to them, they're not going to deliver if that kind of stuff keeps happening and gets worse. And when those trucks stop rolling, your life is going to change drastically, because there is virtually nothing that you consume or use in your life that doesn't at some point go through one of those trucks. And if they stop rolling, we're going to see a major disruption in this country because of that. There's also no reason to not think that they wouldn't attack utility grid areas. They have been increasing over the summer, going from just yelling and throwing things to actual using insurgency and guerrilla warfare type tactics. Improvised munitions, Molotov cocktails, IEDs, actual firearms. Last night in Philadelphia, the police stopped a truck full of guns and ammo. So this type of stuff is happening. There's all kinds of videos of them training with firearms and IEDs. So the odds of those types of things finding their way to the streets and even closer to you right now look pretty good. So we have to kind of get ready for that. If the whole world is getting ready, or at least the United States, if the military and law enforcement agencies and government agencies around the country and also private companies are increasing their security, they're getting themselves ready. If all this is happening, then it's probably a pretty good idea for you to get ready also. Stocking up on some things. I don't like to give advice, but I'm telling you, if it were me and I didn't have what I need for a while, I would spend the next few days stocking up on everything I could, especially food-wise, keeping your vehicles filled up and topped off, getting some extra fuel, because if the trucking industry gets disrupted, that could disrupt fuel also. Making sure your batteries are charged up, get some extra ones. Having a source of heat in your home, a way to cook and a way to stay warm. Something I've forgotten several times to mention it, but something like one of these kind of things could be helpful also, because with minor disruptions of the grid, this is something you should have in all of your bug out bags. It's one of these little power battery banks. This one's got some pretty good flashlights on it. It's solar charged. You can charge a couple of devices on it. It's got a pretty good battery pack in it. So I'll leave a link for this kind of stuff below for you to check it out. I would recommend something like this. Just getting yourself prepared for the things that very well could happen is not a dumb thing to do. What's going to happen? You go out this week, you stock up on extra food, you get yourself some water, get yourself some food, make sure things are stocked as well as you can make them. And then nothing happens. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You may not have to buy groceries for a few weeks longer. It's not a bad thing to be more prepared. You stock up, fill up your tank of your car real good and put some fuel in some extra cans of gasoline, and then nothing happens. Well, you don't have to buy fuel for the next week or two, right? You're not really spending extra money. You're just spending money that you would spend all at once. And if you're capable of doing that, then I would certainly take advantage of it right now. Some of you, I see the comments all the time, nothing's happened in my area, it's okay here. Yeah, it may be, but remember, what happens in other areas at some point, especially if it's bad enough, can affect your area. And the people that are doing a lot of this, they want disruption. I believe they do. I believe that that's what they want. They want to cause a lot of fear and panic and disruption in this country. And so I don't think they're going to just go away quietly. I know it's a possibility, but I don't think it will. And, if the president gets reelected, I know a lot of you are saying, yeah, but once that happens, he's going to step in and he's going to fix it. I hope he does. I hope he tries. But these people have proven already over the past summer that just because troops show up, just because federal agents show up armed, doesn't mean they just turn around and go away. These people, like I said, a lot of them feel like they have nothing else to lose if he wins re-election. And if that happens, it's going to be crazy out there for a while. So you need to get yourselves ready. The amount of potential violence, just what they're saying, I mean, this is stuff that they're talking about, that they want to do, is pretty dramatic. So, folks, do what you can to get yourselves ready, because it just makes sense right now. I mean, it just makes sense. Have a plan of where you and your family are going to be over the next several days, the next week or two, so that you're not just all spread out doing stuff. Have a plan to stay inside. Have a plan to secure your home, to protect yourself, to defend yourself. Do all that kind of stuff, because in the end, whether something happens or not, it's going to be worth it to you. Now, switching gears, this map thing that I've been doing, still working on it, still sending out emails. So if you want your name on that map, send me an email. I need your first name, I need your state, general area. I don't need anything specific in an email. You can find a link in the description below to my email, and also a link to the map video that I made, so that you can connect with others and we don't all have to be a bunch of lone wolves out there. This is a way to find out, if there are other people that are living in your area, and you guys can, a bunch of you can all meet up and go have a cup of coffee somewhere. I was seeing that some of them I've already sent out. That's what they're planning on doing. I sent out several emails to one group because there were several people in one area, and they were all emailing saying, hey, why don't we plan on meeting at this place for coffee one day, just to kind of get to know each other. That's the kind of stuff that needs to be happening, folks. So go down in the description. You'll have all kinds of links for you to look at, and you can just pick whichever one you want, right? Get a hold of me, send an email. We'll get you on that map, all right? Yeah. Folks, let's take this serious, because we don't have a whole lot of time left before that election starts happening, and we're already seeing an increase in violence. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.